All right, welcome in, welcome in. Cheers. Welcome into the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour. I am the Crypto Bull God, and that is a very tasty old fashioned. So that'll get you hammered. Not really hammered, but it's a little on the stronger side. But I'm only gonna have one, so quite tasty though. Hey, look, when it's raining outside, there's nothing better to do than drink, right? I don't know about you, but I know for me, the weather has a profound impact, generally speaking, in terms of my own personal mood. And it's been nothing but raining here in South Florida. So I lucked out this morning. So when I was done working out, I'm sure you can relate to this when this has happened and when it hasn't worked favorably for you. I was coming back from the gym and definitely looked like it was going to downpour. Now the thing in South Florida is that what is very different in South Florida as compared to other regions in the United States. I grew up in the Northeast near Philadelphia, and what's different here is you can have sudden, quick downpours. By the way, I see some people here. Hit the thumbs up. My clicker's broken from the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly close. Need to figure that one out. But make sure to hit the thumbs up button and drop in any comments here. I appreciate the support. But anyway, one of the things in South Florida is you can get some quick sudden downpours and then it clears up right away. It's been raining like all day. But anyway, on the drive home from the gym, pulled the car into the garage, walked inside, and it was like literally 60 seconds later, just like massive downpour, strong winds. So I had just beaten it. So Lady Luck was on my side this morning. I got to tell you, my workouts, I don't know about you. I'd be curious, anyone that's here, welcome Brendan, Kevin, and Brian. Good to see everybody. Yeah, share what you guys, you don't have to have booze. Brian, who says booze? I think my parents say booze. No liquor, no alcohol, that's fine. But share what you guys are having for the happy hour. I'm curious. So generally, I get the sense after, doing a few of these, most people here are beer drinkers. I know there's one individual that I'm thinking of that's not so much. But anyway, let me know what you're having. And I'd be curious if you can actually relate to this story. But anyway, so getting back to the gym, workouts have been going really well lately. I had a solid leg workout this morning. I don't know about you, but for me personally, my squats are not weight-wise where they were, say, a year or two ago. But my depth has gotten better. It's all about form. Like I would rather sacrifice the weight and get better depth on my squats, for instance, and have better form in general than be increasing the weight. Plus, something else I'm a lot more cognizant of is, that's right, Brendan, I forgot, you're having a cup of coffee. The other thing I've been more cognizant of the older that I've gotten is just making sure that I'm, as hard as I work out, the effort level is definitely, I max that out when I'm there. But as much as I max out my effort, the thing that I also want to think about is longevity, right? So I don't want to be 50 or 60 or 70 and be in a wheelchair or have very limited mobility or range of motion because I made some very poor decisions in my 20s and 30s, right? So just something I'm trying to be more cognizant of, just having some more deload weeks and not needing to necessarily throw 400 pounds on my back to do a back squat to prove something to myself. Trying to think what else I've really been up to this week. Has anybody had any exciting plans? Anything exciting going on? Honestly, there hasn't been anything super exciting. Kevin has a maker's mark on the rocks. Good for you, my friend. This is Bullet Bourbon, what I got here. This is Bullet Bourbon. And I'm actually almost out of that. So need to get that at some point. But anybody have anything exciting going on this week? The only other really exciting thing that I had going on this week, I went through Cobra Kai Season 5. Now, originally what I was planning to do was to kind of space it out, watch like an episode, like maybe like 2 or 3 episodes a week so that I could space it out. That did not happen. I binged on it in 2 days. Season 5 was phenomenal. It was great. I'm not gonna, no spoiler alerts, I'm not gonna give any spoilers here. But I would encourage you, especially if you, good choice, Kevin. I would encourage you, if you were a fan of Karate Kid back in the day, or I don't know, even if you'd like a good comedy action TV series to watch, lighthearted humor. It's funny as shit, especially this season. I just thought there were so many epic scenes, and scenes that pay homage to the 80s, and I'm a huge 80s buff, with the music and the movies and the TV shows. So it all around, season 5, I thought it had a really impressive showing. Now, I'm not going to give anything away by saying this, and I actually have to text Mini Chef to tell him my thoughts on it, because we were texting back and forth, and he asked me to get back to him. Made me think of that. But this is not a spoiler alert, but I will say the way they ended it, the way they chose to end it, I think it was very smart, because it left the door open to either kind of close things out or continue into season 6. Now, I'm hopeful they're going to continue into season 6, but we'll have to see kind of how that plays out. So, but highly recommend Cobra Kai. Very, very, very entertaining season 5. So, nobody wants to talk about weightlifting. Nobody wants to talk about the weather. No one wants to talk about Cobra Kai. Everybody really wants to hear my thoughts on the market and what I have to share in the data. So I do have a lot of information to kind of get through today, so I think we should just jump into things. Before we actually get into crypto-specific stuff, there is one news article I wanted to share with anyone that I found to be comic relief. So this is apparently there was a letter written to the president from almost half of the United States governors asking him to withdraw the student loan forgiveness plan. Now, I know I had shared some sort of article on here that actually spoke to some of the specifics in the law. Now, oftentimes what happens, and this is why politics to me is just comedy relief. It's the only thing in life I'm cynical about. There's plenty of other opportunities I've had in life, I think, to be cynical about other things. We all go through difficult times, but I haven't gotten cynical about anything outside of politics. I think it's all just theater, and it's a circus. But anyway, oftentimes what happens is when politicians, and actually my father, maybe he could speak better to this. At some point, I wanted to have him on a guest on my podcast. I'll have to kind of reconnect on that idea with him at some point. I could actually have him as a guest. I don't think I could live stream it. I don't even know if I'd want to do that. Probably record it and edit as needed. But anyway, getting back to the subject at hand here, a lot of times what politicians do, or what the president or governors, senators, what they will do is they will advertise a bill or a law to, it'll be advertised as something with a big headline, right? But kind of baked into there are like 5,000 other things that aren't advertised, right? And they try to slip other things in there. And I don't recall what. I actually wanted to pull it up for today's discussion. I just didn't have time. I actually started a little later than I wanted to. But there's a whole bunch of shit in this law, none of it which really addresses inflation. None of it addresses inflation, at least materially at all whatsoever. And again, it's just, this is a law. When think about this, just intuitively think about this for a moment. If you're in political power and you want your political power party to remain in power, wouldn't something smart for you to do, I mean, I would call it abuse of power, but wouldn't it, and this does tie into the cryptocurrency market, by the way, this does tie into all of crypto, because what was Bitcoin spurred out of? Bitcoin was spurred out of the avarice which existed within politics, the 2008 financial crisis. Okay, now interestingly enough, crypto had its own financial crisis, if you will, through abuse of power and shady practices like Celsius Networks. So we had our own sort of 2008 financial crisis. Interesting how that works. When humans get power, they often abuse it. They always abuse it. But anyway, this gets at this, because what this bill is doing is it's not genuine in nature. It's not trying to attack any of the root issues that are causing inflation. Rather, what it is doing is it's attempting to purchase votes, right? This appeals to a young audience. If you're young and naive and you don't know anything, and you hear that President Biden is passing a law to forgive a portion of your student debt, I mean, how would you not be excited about that and not want to support him, right? Again, naive, 22-year-old kid, 25-year-old kid, right? 25 is a young adult, 22-year-old kid. So this is really tugging at the uneducated emotional heartstrings of so many within the United States. And really what it's doing is attempting to gain votes, right? So there's a lot of governors here who are essentially trying to get this redacted. So I don't know legislatively what would be possible to get this withdrawn, but it's much of the same. I won't go into this tangent. We're going to get into crypto charts here in a minute. I won't go on this tangent, but I'm not as educated in this sector, but something I have been very educated on based on my professional career as an actuary within health insurance. When the ACA was enacted, when the Affordable Care Act was enacted, that was the first time in my life, and I don't know how much I spoke in this way back in the day on my podcast, if you've been subscribed here for a while. It was the first time as an educated young adult that I knew so much about healthcare, because my career demanded it. For me to get my credentials, all the stuff I studied, I had to know how insurance worked. Okay, I had to know how it worked. And what I witnessed firsthand was the president, it was President Obama. I witnessed the president of the United States get up and literally lie to people. Now, I don't know if it was because he was misinformed. I don't know if he was outright lying and being disingenuous and dishonest. But it was the first time I personally felt personally attacked as somebody who was doing the right thing for the right reason, and having someone talk down upon you and speak about things they were clearly uneducated in, they had no knowledge of. And there were so many things fundamentally in that bill that were unsustainable and didn't make any sense whatsoever. But again, it's to buy votes. You have an agenda. You're not as educated in the matters clearly as you should be, and you're attempting to push an agenda and have a name made for yourself and buy votes, right? That is the feel of this. That is the feel of this personally to me. And again, I'm not taking a Democratic or Republican approach. That's not what this is about. I've already personally identified I've shared with you guys, if you've been here for a while, I personally identify more as a libertarian than anything. Not surprisingly, I'm in Bitcoin. But that's not what this is about. This is just about moronic behaviors and just seeing through this stuff. But anyway, let's get into the charts here. Just wanted to show that tidbit of information. We're going to dive into a lot of charts here. We're going to take a look at some Bitcoin charts. We're going to take a look at obviously the dollar index. We're going to take a look at the dominance chart, a few specific crypto charts. We're also going to take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P. Now, something specifically I want to point out with the S&P relates to a video that Alessio Rastani, a technician who I have great admiration and respect for, a video he put out. I kind of wanted to summarize his thoughts, point you to the video if you'd like to watch it, and share with you what my thoughts are on it specifically. But again, the reason we would want to take a look at the dollar index, but the reason we'd want to take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the reason we'd want to take a look at the S&P is because the cryptocurrency market, which is a risk-on asset, is very positively correlated with the stock market. What does that mean, CBG? What that means is generally the price movements up and down in the stock market are mirrored by movements up and down respectively within the crypto markets. Now, the crypto markets have a lot more volatility associated with it overall in general relative to the entire indices within the stock market, just because it's such a naive and did I say that word? Did I pronounce that appropriately? Naive. It's such a young and immature market, right? But still, generally what I'm trying to communicate to you is if you have a day like yesterday specifically, where the Dow Jones is down, a historic amount, it's suffering some major losses, was it yesterday or today, and you see, Bitcoin's down like 10%, okay, those two are positively correlated. The Dow Jones went down a lot, stock market went down a lot, Bitcoin and all the cryptos went down a lot, right? I want to point you, and I want to be unbiased about this. I'll get into this. Well, actually, I don't want to jump ahead here. I have a couple thoughts on some things I want to do with my own content that Alessio's video made me think of to kind of rethink how I approach material. Because it's important, one of the things you want to make sure you're doing in life in general. Now I'm a content producer, right? So I do this on the side. This is not my full-time job. I have a lot of aspirations, so we'll see where this kind of goes. But in the shorter term, no, this is not my full-time occupation. I do this on the side for fun. I do it on the side because I love the cryptocurrency market. I love to teach people on things. And this is something I'm passionate about. So I'm hoping I can help, some of you guys and girls out. Are there any ladies here? No ladies? No ladies? But I'm hoping I can help some of you guys out because I just feel it's important in life in general to kind of, like I say at the end of my videos, it's important in general to kind of spread that awareness and share education, to share knowledge. I do the same thing in the gym. It's something I'm very passionate about. If I kind of get the sense from someone that they're receptive to feedback, I'll share with them something positive or something, an opportunity for them to improve on their form or something. It's the same thing here. If there's an opportunity for me to share something with you, and it's based on, deep-rooted education that I have and my personal outlook, I'm going to share it with you because I feel like, you could benefit from it. So anyway, I'm digressing. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. I mean, I'm only 3 sips in, so you can't, 3 sips in? 5 sips in, so you can't blame it on the drink. All right, so the first thing I'd like to point out, and we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin 12-hour chart, is I have seen one person comment on the drink that they are having for a happy hour. This is a happy hour. Now, I know right now, given the market conditions, this is a dead happy hour. Okay, not a lot of people showing up to the happy hour. There's not a lot of people excited about crypto right now. A lot of people are just fucking, they're negative, they're pessimistic, they're turned off by it. No one wants to go to a happy hour right now. No one wants to have a drink with me because the fucking markets suck. But people, this is a happy hour. We're sitting around a table. We're sharing information. We're laughing. We're having a good time. What the hell are you drinking? Because I've only seen one person. Just saying. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin 12-hour chart. Actually, let me read Kevin's comment because it relates to the student loan issue. Oh yeah, no, well, Kevin, that's baked in there. I agree with you. I paid off my student loans a while ago, and so it doesn't hit me as, my student loans were lower than a lot of people that I knew. Like I don't know if I told you guys this story. I don't mind telling it. I'll just share it with you. So, at one point in my life, I was married. And my ex-wife, she graduated with a good degree. She was a smart woman. She worked hard. And she got herself a good degree and she got a job. And she was making X amount, right? And it was a decent salary for the time, the year it was. It was a good salary, especially just getting out of school, right, with the degree that she had. But the thing that I tried to share with her, because I was more analytically minded, was like, this is good. This is what you're making, but you literally just came out of school with $100,000 of debt. So take what you're making, and now you're making 70 to 75% of it based on your student loan payments. Okay, so for example, if you're making $100,000 a year, to make it simplistic, you're literally making $70,000 to $75,000 a year. Okay, take a 20 to 25%, or $75,000 to $80,000 a year. That's a 20 to 25% haircut. So one of the things I was grateful for when I walked out of college was that I really didn't have too much in student debt, but I consistently made that minimum payment. The interest rate was so low on my student loans. I don't remember what it was, but it was extremely low, and I just made the minimum payment. And at some point, I guess it wasn't the smartest thing, but the amount was so small, it didn't matter. I don't know if it was like $1,600 or $2,000. It was like the loan amount got so small. So like around, let's just call it $2,000. It was at around $2,000. I was like, fuck this. I just want to pay it off. So I just paid $2,000. Now, could I have saved the extra like $2,000, whatever, $1,800 or $1,700 and earned a higher rate of return? Probably, but it was such a piddly amount that I just paid it off. For me, it was a piddly amount. So it doesn't hit home as hard for me, but it irritated the shit out of me, more so from the perspective that it's my general sense in terms of the way the world and the United States is moving. There's no accountability. My late best friend and I've shared this before. Carrie and I used to talk about this all the time. Accountability. People don't have accountability. Like not everyone, but I'm sure you guys do, but a lot of people don't have accountability for their actions, right? You go to school, whatever the cost is, that's your responsibility and your burden. You got to pay that off. Government doesn't need to step in and have some asinine law that's going to cost me and other taxpayers money so that you don't have that student debt. That's not fixing the problem. That's buying your vote. That's what it is. So it's irritating because I see through that. But uneducated people don't see through this. People who have biases, people who grow up in a certain Democratic or Republican party and don't take the time to educate themselves and just get brainwashed and don't think about these things, those are the people that can't see through this. But let's move on to the charts, because I can get heated about this stuff. So let's get off of it. I agree with your comment though, Kevin. This is the Bitcoin 12-hour chart. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know the importance of this chart. This chart is actually, if you scroll the videos that I've put out, this is the chart that no one's discussing. I go into some historical context in terms of how important this chart is. And basically what I'm saying is, in that chart, once we get a candle body close below the 200 SMA, there are some probabilities in terms of what direction price will go. Once we get a death cross, that increases the likelihood that we're going to go down, but there's probabilities associated with that. So I kind of lay it out very factual and just straightforward in the video. So you want to check that out. If you guys are new to the channel, you haven't seen that, the Bitcoin chart no one is discussing. You don't have to scroll too far. Put it out. The very first video I think was put out in December of last year, so not too far ago. But anyway, here's the thing that you guys need to keep in mind, and this is really, in my opinion, why this is a critical chart that if you can read charts, if you have TradingView, I would encourage you guys. I think even just like a basic membership to TradingView is relatively inexpensive. I would encourage you, if you don't have TradingView, get TradingView. Maybe it'll push you to learn technical analysis to kind of read charts a little bit, right? So you're not just solely relying on other people's opinions. You can do it yourself and then use them as a reference point. That's what I do. But the 12-hour chart is something you need to have open and you need to be monitoring it. Why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons why. The first reason is because as bullish price action picks up, and I've said this so many times before, as the bullish price action picks up in the lower time frames, as long as that bullish price action is sustained, okay, it's going to eventually bleed over into the higher time frames, right? So if the 12-hour starts looking really bullish, okay, and it's been sustained, let's start looking at the 1-day, 3-day, weekly, 10-day, 2-week, and monthly chart, okay? That stuff bleeds over, okay? So what we want to see, now I've drawn out the general, these dotted lines just represent hypothetically what could happen and also what we'd like to see. I'm not telling you what's going to happen. So many people don't pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm never telling you what's going to happen. I'm sharing it with you opinions on what I think is most and least likely to happen. And in this case, I'm sharing with you what I'd like to see happen because I'm a fucking bull. I'm the crypto bull god, in case you did not know that, okay? So what I'd like to see realistically, because we're not going to just jump from here all the way up to here, okay? That's unsustainable. What I'd realistically like to see here, charting out hypothetical movements within the 50 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average, I'd like to see price jump up and get in between the 200 and the 50. Now, what would that do? Now, first off, you're gaining strength within the price. That's relatively straightforward. Thumbs up button, everybody. Please help support the channel. Drop a comment. Let me know you're here. And Jesus, this is a happy hour, so let me know what you're drinking. Not only is that bullish because the price momentum is picking up and the price is increasing in value, yeah, that's relatively straightforward. Anybody knows that. Any rockhead knows that. Who says rockhead anymore? Does anybody say rockhead? Any brainless individual knows that. The price is increasing in value. But what will that also do? That will cause the moving averages to, if you're speaking about a lower time frame, it'll be a little sharper. If it's a higher time frame, it's a little flatter. But it will cause the moving averages to flatten out and increase in value. So we want to see price get in between here and just consolidate, okay? It provides price confluence. It also provides, if price falls, you know, if it consolidates in here, think about this for a second. I've spoken about this so many times before. If price consolidates in this region and we move up here, once it corrects, it has something to grab onto. It's a tree with tree branches, okay? Unlike a parabolic movement up like we're seeing in the DXY, unlike a parabolic movement, okay, where we go straight up, there's nothing to grab onto, so it just falls, okay? So we want to see consolidation because we want to create price confluence. We also want to see consolidation in this area because it's going to cause the moving averages to flatten out. Then that's step one. This is just step one, getting in this area. Step two, a big step two. This is a big step two, okay? We did it temporarily for 3 candlesticks here. We need to get above the 200 SMA, and we need to fucking stay above the 200 SMA. This is the problem that Bitcoin is having right now. Get above the 200 SMA, and for the love of God, Bitcoin, can you pick up the momentum here and stay above the 200 SMA, all right? I feel like I'm like spotting someone on a set of like bench press and telling him he's got one more in him. He's got to fucking pick it up a little bit. Bitcoin, you need to fucking pick it up, all right? So get above the 200 SMA. When we get above the 200 SMA, that's really going to cause the 50 first off to curl up, and it's going to cause the 200 to flatten out. Now, I spoke about this on the video that the title of the video is, I want to make sure I don't get it wrong. The title of the video is the... No, that's not it. Is this it? Bitcoin and crypto set to shock the world? No. Go to my videos and look at the Bitcoin bull is back. It's literally a 5-minute video. It's 5 minutes of your time, all right? If you don't find any value in it, honestly, if you find no value in it, unsubscribe to the channel, because that video, in my opinion, is 5 minutes of extremely useful information that I feel would benefit anyone, okay? I find it highly unlikely you wouldn't find it valuable. That's confidence, okay? That's not being overconfident or cocky or arrogant. That is confidence that the material is helpful. So check out the Bitcoin bull is back. I published that on August 23rd. You will find it helpful. I can guarantee that. How about that? I don't guarantee much, but I'll guarantee that one because I feel extremely confident. So once we consolidate in here and we push up above the 200, the next thing, really the big thing is to look for this golden cross. We need the 50 to cross above the 200. Now, if you paid attention to the Bitcoin chart no one is watching, and you paid attention to the Bitcoin bull is back video I just referred to, once we get up in this area, okay, once we get up in this area, if this price action is legit, okay, and both, now this is very important, we can't just get up here. We need the 200 to flatten out and begin to curl up, and we need the 50 to curl up and create a golden cross. We need all that to happen. Now we can start feeling really good. We can feel really good. we can't open up the Johnny Walker Blue Label Ghost Distillery or whatever the heck it's called that I had from March of 2021. I'm still waiting to open. No, we can't open that yet. No. Although I'm still planning to live stream with you guys when I'm opening that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll refresh your memory in a future video. But anyway, we can't sound the horns, okay? We can't sound the horns. By the way, speaking of which, I have added some special effects to this channel. So something I have done is I've created a custom button chart. Yeah, so I'm not going to be too annoying with this, but we can't sound the horns just yet. We can't sound the horns just yet, but it is a very positive sign, so it's something that we need to watch for. So let's get into the next chart here. This is my custom button chart. I literally just lost everyone that was listening to me by playing those sounds. Yeah, I'll promise not to abuse this button list, but I created my own special button list here. Yeah, just lost a few people. All right, so let's get into the Bitcoin 3-day. Okay, this is the Bitcoin 3-day. Sorry, just trying to navigate here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, there we go. For everyone new joining, I really would seriously appreciate it if you guys hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It does hit me out. Welcome in. All right. I'm getting a little button happy. I have the buttons. All right. Let's get this shit off. So, anyway, this is the Bitcoin 3-day. This is another chart. This is another really important chart. This is something I haven't seen anyone discuss. This is the 125 simple moving average on the 3-day chart. The reason I point this out, this is in the Bitcoin bull is back, okay? Anytime we fell below, look, we fell below. You see how we fell below? Once we regain candle bodies above, massive bull run, okay? Fell below, candle bodies above, bull run. We fell, now we temporarily fell, but we got right back above. Whoa, don't want to get demonetized. Woo-hoo-hoo. Beer virus. Sorry, I almost said the COVID word. YouTube's a little cray-cray about that. We can't say that word. What the hell is free speech? Anyway, beer virus, whatever. You know, silly. Some of this shit is so silly. It's so silly how you can't say COVID and there's fear of getting demonetized. And I have to say beer virus. Like, how ridiculous is that? Anyway, we fell below. We got back above. Major bull run, right? We've been back below for a while now. There's someone, when I posted this chart up on Twitter, someone said a long way to go up. Yeah, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But I'd like to throw something out to you right now. And that is this chart. This is the Bitcoin weekly chart. So I want to comment, keep in mind what I said earlier about the Twitter response I got that, yeah, it's a long, look, yeah, I see what you're throwing down, but it's a long way up here to like 39,000. Okay, all right. No, I agree with you. But we'll come back to that point. This is the Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin weekly chart. All right. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out here. There's a lot going on in this chart, so I don't want to, hypnotize you or lose you here on this chart. By the way, the maraschino cherries on the old fashioned are critical. Okay, so anyway, I love cherries in general. What's up, Steady? Glad to see you back, buddy. So what I'm pointing out here is anytime that we've had a bottoming candle and a correction, I took from that bottoming candle, I took the price appreciation from the 200 SMA because we've bottomed around the 200 SMA. The bottoming candle at which I took a look at the bottoming candle and what the price point was on the 200 SMA, and then I measured the price movement up when we topped out. You can see it's 336% here, and it looks like 1,079% here, okay? By the way, that's because this was a wave 3 movement, and we're still waiting for our wave 5 movement. I've said that so many times before. If we believe this is our bottoming candle, now you know the emphasis of what I've been trying to do is not to squabble over if 18 or 17 or 16,000 is the bottom, but if this is a generational buy opportunity. I share with you guys 21 independent data points in my latest TA video, okay? There are 21 motherfucking independent data points that say it's a generational buy. But let's, for the sake of conversation, say, because I do believe the bottom is in. I've been on record since June, actually, saying it sort of feels like the bottom, and then increasingly towards the end of July, I was like, yeah, I feel pretty confident the bottom is in. So let's just say this was the bottoming candle. What I did is I took a look at what the moving average was at the 200 SMA, measured it up, and what I did was I took the price point in the middle of this. It was the midpoint, which is 705%. And I took roughly the time frame that was relative to this wave 3 movement here. And I said, all right, what that would mean is roughly in like June, we'd be at $180,000. Now, for all of you that say, and I kind of touched on this in the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close and how many weeks it can take for Bitcoin to appreciate and double in value, increase massively in value. For you to say that this is a long way up, I 100% agree with you, 100% agree with you. But I don't have an unrealistic expectation based on past history that can't happen in the matter of like 2 months. It can't. Bitcoin historically is a very volatile asset, as well as the entire crypto space. So there's no reason that we can't go from 20 to 40,000 in the matter of 2 or 3 months. That's if you study the charts, you can see that is not an outlier. That has happened several times in the past. The other thing, in an unbiased way, I want to present to you, even though I'm bullish, what I do not like to see in this chart, and I've pointed this out many times, okay? What I don't like to see is price action hang out down here. The more, I will say this, the more that price action remains below the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart, my nervous level increases, okay? And it makes me open more to the idea that I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and we have not bottomed. It doesn't mean this isn't a generational buy opportunity that I feel I feel uber confident in. But what it does make me feel is a little nervous that I could be wrong and that the bottom is not in, and we could see further downside before we see more upside, okay? Again, what you guys have to understand is, first off, there's no technician out there that's going to tell you with 100% certainty what's going to happen. This is where people really run into trouble. The people who I really respect most in this space and the people who are authentic are the people who acknowledge that there's a bullish and bearish price direction, and that there are probabilities associated with that. So what they do is, and this is the camp I fall in, and this is what I hope that you get from my messaging. What I do is I interpret this data, right? I look at this chart, 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 and what I do is I formulate an educated opinion on what I think is happening currently and what is most likely to play out. That's all I do, okay? And then I communicate that to you. But at no point in the process do I ever say to you, yeah, this is what's going to happen. We're going to move up here and blah, 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 blah. Never do I say that. There's no certainties. Again, I've said this time and time again, and this is what people miss who they listen. I think what happens is people listen to a portion of my content. They misperceive what I'm communicating, and then they come at me and say, you made a prediction about this and you were wrong. No, I don't make any predictions. That's not what I do. That's not what I do on this channel. What I do on this channel is I read the charts and I give you my informed, educated view on what I think is most and least likely, okay? So what I would say is, as convicted as I feel that the bottom is in and this is a generational buy opportunity based on those 21 independent data points that I provided to you, I'm very open to the idea that I could be wrong, not that it's not a generational buy opportunity, that I feel again, 99% confident in. But I'm open very much to the idea. I could be wrong, and the bottom is not in. Maybe we bottom at 16 or 15,000 or 14,000, 13,000. I don't know. Pick a number. I could be wrong. But what happens is when price has this sort of price action where we get above it and then it pierces right below it, and now it's struggling to get back up here, it makes me a little more cautious, a little bit more open to the idea that, CBG, you could be wrong. The bottom is not in, and we could go lower and have a bigger capitulation event prior to moving back up, right? So really what I want to see on this weekly chart, right, where the first thing is this weekly candle, I need this red body to be less red. I need it to be more wick, okay? So what would be nice is if maybe we could get... Let's be realistic here, okay? Let's draw a line right about... I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is on the fly, me just looking at this chart in 2 seconds and telling you this. You see this candle body and this candle body? Maybe we close at or above 21,000, okay? It'd be nice if this body was a lot less thick. That's what she said. Actually... I think she'd prefer for the candlestick to be thick. Guys, if your candlestick isn't thick... All right, let's move on here. It's not all about length. It's also about thickness and circumference. Anyway, where the hell are we... What are we talking about? So what I want to see is... I want to see this red... I don't know. This is what you get on this channel. I'm not... this channel is not PC. Look, I kind of spoke to this. If you don't follow me on Instagram at Crypto Bull God, the messaging did not state this, but I almost said this in a video I put out. Look, let's be real with one another. Let's take a moment. Let's pause to look from this chart. This crypto happy hour, this Bitcoin crypto happy hour is going well past 7 o'clock. I don't know. We're going to get through all the material. Let's be honest for a second. When you're at work, okay, if you work in a professional environment, you put on a mask. You're professional. You're a business professional. When you're around old people or you're around little babies, you're the sweetest, most little, polite little person you can be, right? If you have the love of your life, hopefully you treat her right. You're a man, you treat her right, and you're lovey-dovey to her, right? You might have some little tips here and there. You might get a little cray-cray, but hopefully you treat her right. When you, what was the other thing? When you go out with your friends and you have a happy hour, you're fucking laughing and having a good time. Fuck comes out of your mouth, shit comes out of your mouth. Who knows what comes out of your mouth, And when you're in the gym, you're fucking focused and you're not laughing and you're just gut-wrenching hard work, right? Here's the thing. I don't know where I was going with that. But the reality is, on this channel, what I was trying to say is that we all put on different masks depending on the different environment and atmosphere we're in, right? I keep shit 100% real with you. This is who I am. If you appreciate the content, I hope you're going to stick around with me on this journey. It's going to be a long, long journey for the next decade. I plan to be here for a long time. If you don't appreciate the content, you're like, this guy is cray-cray, then fucking unsubscribe to the channel. I don't really care. But I'm doing this for fun, leisure, and to help educate you. So what I'm saying with this thick red candlestick is this is not ideal. We want a longer wick. We want a wick up to about 21,000. That would be ideal for me. I'll tell you what the most ideal thing would be. The most ideal thing in a utopian for a bull in this market would be for this red body to completely encapsulate on itself and turn green, or for this to be as thin as possible up towards like 21,500, 21,600. That would be mega bullish. Not mega bullish, but it would be a sign that seller exhaustion really came in here and we could see a push possibly upwards most likely. But the name of the game here on the weekly chart, geez, we're only 3 charts in. I have a lot of charts to get to. The name of the game is to get above the 200 SMA. It's still increasing in value. The other thing to keep in mind is it's starting to round off. You see how it's rounding off? We better start pushing up here because I tell you what you don't want to see. Again, this gets back to the premise. I'm open to the idea I could be wrong, okay? And we could have a massive bear market for the next 2 years. I'm open to that idea. I just don't see it in all the information I've shared with you guys. I don't see it. But what we don't want to see is we don't want to see this start to go like this. That would be very bad. That would be very bad. We don't want to see the 200 SMA begin to curl down. All right, the 50 is all the way up here, so we don't have to worry about death cross there. So let's not even talk about that. So that's what I'm looking at on the weekly chart. Let's look at the DXY. DXY, nothing has changed here. We're still seeing negative divergence on the RSI, okay? And I'm still, my outlook on this is most likely I see the odds in our favor that we're going to see the dollar correct down and hit some initial support at around 97. Okay, now I know 100 is a high psychological level, but I see support coming in right around 97. You can call it 98, 97, whatever. There's price confluence I've spoken to in the past. But again, the DXY and the cryptocurrency market has an inverse relationship with each other, right? So if the DXY is decreasing, that should hypothetically mean, based on history, that the Bitcoin charts and the crypto charts should be increasing in value. Bitcoin dominance. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing has changed here. Okay, let's actually look at a daily. We saw a strong move up here and now some strong red candles. Again, I've spoken to this before. You can, this is pinned to my profile. Small channel, big content. If you're not subscribed to me on Twitter, or if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, you're not following me on Twitter, I feel like you are missing out. I feel as if I provide very value-added content that does not take up a lot of time in your day to just give a listen and weigh in into your own independent analysis. So I would follow me if you're not. I would ask that you consider it if you find value in the content. I would also ask for everyone who is listening and watching right now to please hit the thumbs up button, because I see new people in here and no one's hitting the thumbs up button. It helps me as a content creator. Guys, I know it's annoying. I know I've listened to channels and they're like, hit the thumbs up button. If you got so many likes, blah, 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 we're going to give a give. I'm not going to do giveaways. Just help me as a content creator. I'm here to help you guys. So I appreciate the support. All right. And let me know what you're having for the happy hour, because I don't see anything. Hey, cheers, John. Cheers, Josh. Glad to have you aboard. Are you a newer subscriber? I do not recognize your name. Thank you for joining. But anyway, this is a pattern I've spoken to so much. This is a descending triangle. And the thing I spoke to with this is, you may look at this. If this is your first time here and you're like, this is not a descending triangle, we invalidated the pattern right here. You are correct. With a caveat, we temporarily invalidated the pattern and we since re-entered it. When that happens, there's an extremely high likelihood that the pattern will continue to play out. There's nothing. Look at this long wick here. This is on a 10-day chart, okay? We actually have wicked up exactly, and I'm not going to take credit for anything here until this pattern actually does legitimately play out. I'm not taking credit for anything. But what I will say, interestingly enough, at the moment, we have literally wicked up. I didn't move anything. We have literally wicked up exactly where I said we would. Now, I want you to keep in mind, okay? If you see this chart in future weeks, if I'm speaking to the chart up here, we can still have candle bodies close below this line and we're fine. What we don't want to see is candle bodies start to close up here. We can see a wick. We can see a wick come up here and come back down. That doesn't mean anything. That's just price volatility. You guys know that. But this is still a descending triangle / bear flag. And I still have the technical pattern drawn out. I want to remind you guys, technical pattern again drawn all the way out to 22.5 thousand. Thinking of USD. 22.5% on Bitcoin dominance. So what does that mean for the crypto markets? Well, if you want to know what that means, watch my video published on August 5th of this year called Bitcoin and Crypto Set to Shock the World, with a question mark. Not the Shockmaster from WCW. We hope it's not a blunder like that. Thank you for everyone for hitting the thumbs up button. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. We hope it's not a blunder like that, but if you don't know who the Shockmaster is, do yourself a favor. Google Shockmaster. No. Go on YouTube and search Shockmaster. Don't click off the live channel right now to do it, but go on YouTube and search Shockmaster. You'll be entertained. This is Ethereum. So ideally what we want to see is we want to see us stay above 1,700. Nothing has materially changed here. We'll have to see how we close out the week during my live stream on Sunday. We have 2 higher lows with the blue circles, okay? And we have this high. We want to create another higher high. We want to interact with this descending line of resistance here. That's really the name of the game. We want to get up towards that like $2,100, $2,200 level, okay? So let's see as the price continues here what happens. But nothing too materially here to update. Ethereum Classic has been an extremely strong performer. I'm glad I got in this one in the $20 range. You can see we have resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. We're pushing up against resistance here. Now, there's 2 things that can happen here, okay? And I'll give you my opinion what I think is most likely. Yeah, what do I think is most likely, actually, now that I'm thinking about this when I say that? There's 2 things that can happen here. We could come down here, push up, and then back test this as support, which would be very bullish and continue up. Or we could come down here. Okay, let me take this out. Okay, another path, which is still bullish. It's not as bullish, but it's still bullish. We could come down into this zone, which I have marked here, which if it comes down into this zone, I'm a heavy buyer. Okay, that's between $25 and $20. Okay, we could come down here and we'd still have a low and a higher low and a high. Now what we want to do is push up through resistance and create another higher high. Okay, so there's kind of 2 paths. What do I think it's going to do? I will give you my... honestly, I'm kind of 50-50 on this. It really depends on the movements within the broader market. I think more than likely, I could actually see us coming down to here, maybe 27 or 28. I think more than likely things are getting a little overheated here and we'll come down, maybe 27, 28. Maybe we won't quite reach 25. We'll have a correction somewhere in this area here. We won't go as deep as here. Maybe here, and then we'll start to push up. That is my own personal... I'm about 50-50, but I'm more so leaning that way. We'll have to see how it plays out. This is a, again, I'm not familiar with the project. This is ticker symbol SYN. This is on the 2-day chart. This is something I shared with you guys on the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close. I looked at this as an ascending triangle. This thing has pulled back. Now, when it got down here in the low 140s, I was buying. I am buying. I shifted some of my swing trade positions to get in. We hit close enough to this area within the ascent. You can see a touch. Let's get off the indicators. Touch. We got down here. Boom. I was in around what, like 144? I think 145, 146. And we are sitting at 151. Okay. And we won as low as 141. Okay. 143 to 146 is not bad at all. So yeah, I shifted some of my short-term swing plays because again, something I've shared with you guys. Most of my crypto position are in long-term holds. I'm gonna get taxed at 20%. So when I sell shit, you got to keep that in mind. When you sell stuff, you got to keep capital taxes in mind, capital gains taxes. Okay. I have definitely exercised tax loss harvesting. You're going to want to look up tax loss harvesting, which you can still do with crypto. But what we're talking about right now are capital gains taxes. So for me personally, well, on long-term holds for everyone, it's a 20% tax, okay? So most of my portfolio, when I sell it, I will keep 80% of what I make. I think I should keep 100% as everyone should be, but the government is able to tax you. Taxes are called, I have a question for everyone. I want to pause for 1 second before I share my thoughts with you. And the question I have for you is, I want someone to comment here, actually. I want to get a little interaction here. I have a question for everyone. What do you think, from my perspective, I've shared with you, what do you think the government's taxation on people is? Someone drop a comment. I'm waiting. What is taxation? What is another word for taxation? Anyone? No one. Taxation is legalized theft, in my opinion. That's what taxation is. So anyway, I have a long-term position in most of my crypto portfolio, but then I have a shorter-term swing trade play where I'm going to get too much. Too much. So I have a smaller position in my portfolio that is going to get taxed at ordinary tax rates. Thank you, Steady. I appreciate it. Theft. Legalized theft. But anyway, so this got in at a price level that I feel is a good opportunity. Could we go lower? Sure, but based on what I'm looking at here, it looked like a good entry. So keep an eye on ticker symbol SYN. It's a lower market cap. I like the market structure that's being built here. This could go volatile either way, but I like the position that I got in at. This is another one, ticker symbol PORTO. This is a sports play, okay? I don't know a lot about the project. I don't even care to know a lot about the project. It's entered the golden zone of what I want to buy from a technical perspective. I have not entered a position in this yet. This was down large today. I think it was down like 17% at one point. It was still down like 17%. Must have been down about, wow, this must have been down over 20%. Great opportunity if you're into volatility and you're taking a shorter term swing trade based on just the technicals. So this is something that I would keep an eye on. Gala, RSI bullish divergence. I had tweeted out earlier today that I increased a little bit of my swing trade play in Gala. Right now, I want to say the market position on this thing is around 102 or 99 last time I looked. So, what I'm seeing right here is, very simplistically stated, we're seeing price going down. We're seeing the RSI increasing in value. The bullish divergence does not need to play out. I'm just pointing it out that it could play out. This is more of a popular project within the community for gaming. I've also indicated that I may actually hold, depending how things play out, and also based on, the research I do and how I feel about it, I may actually hold a longer term position in this. For right now, it's a swing play. It's a shorter term swing play, but I might hold on to some of this for the longer term bull run. So I want to congratulate everyone who has been in Raven, ticker symbol RVN. This is one that I really regret that I did not make time to get to in the Bitcoin crypto weekly close. I had it open. I indicated towards the end of the stream I wasn't going to get to every chart. This was one that was at like 3 cents or under, and I wanted to speak to it, and I didn't speak to it, and at least could have maybe made one of you aware that maybe you would have gotten into a position. This thing has been on fire at 7.5 cents. Now, what's happening is I have not taken a position in this, unfortunately. But what we're really hitting here is a lot of resistance here, a lot of downward resistance. You can see it here, 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 and here. Okay, so 4 touches of resistance. This thing is starting to get a little overextended and a little hot. So keep in mind, I want you guys to keep in mind, I would not FOMO into something like this. Here's my last piece of insight or suggestion on this. Could the price continue to go like this? Yeah, sure, it could. Because prices can remain overheated or oversold for extended periods of time. But what I will tell you is, based on my experience and based on reading this chart, the more likely, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, this is not a prediction, listen to what I'm saying, the more likely direction for price is to cool off, cool off, and then continue up. These are volatile assets. So personally, if I wanted to get into this project, one area of price confluence I see right off the bat that just sticks out like a sore thumb, 4.2 cents. Now, why do I see 4.2 cents? 2 touches here, a touch here, a touch here. Once we broke above, we skyrocketed. I could totally see us coming back, and this would be very bullish and forming some price confluence here and continuing to move up. So personally, I'm just speaking for myself. If I choose to enter a position within Raven, I'm going to wait for it to pull back at least to this area here. I'm not entering it at these levels. But keep an eye on it. Congratulations to all you guys who are invested in Raven. Now, let's get into some really... Boy, this live stream is going very long. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Let's get into some information that is related to crypto. And this is very informative, educational material that I think you want to pay attention to. Who I want to give props to here, and you'll also be able to see some videos that I regularly watch, I guess. As you can see, I watch videos in the NFL. I watch Peter Schiff, the Wolf of Wall Street, Scott Melker, who more recently I have really appreciated his content. I get his sense of humor too. And you can see Alessio Rastani. This is Alessio Rastani's video. I would encourage you to subscribe to his channel and check out his content. I have a great amount of respect for his content. He talks about the kiss of death. Check out the video. And there's another video he put out recently that I would also check out. But let me tell you the punchline of the video. The punchline of the video, and it's important that you pay attention to what I'm saying, because the S&P, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, these are all things... Oh, let me get to the right. There we go. These are all things that are positively correlated to the cryptocurrency market, okay? Let me throw on a light here. It's looking a little dark. You guys see me a little bit better now? All right. So the kiss of death. I'm going to simplistically break down what's in his video, and we'll go back in history a little bit and look at some of these data points. And I'll give you my concluding thoughts on his analysis. So this is the S&P index, okay? The Standard & Poor's index, okay? S&P index, this is a monthly time frame. And this is the 21 exponential moving average, the 21 EMA. That's the blue line. Now, what he's saying is we have a low here. When we have had candle bodies, now we're not talking about this. You see this? This is a price wick. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this candlestick. When we have a candle body, when price closes below the 21 EMA, we want to find the low here. The low here is at 3636.87, okay? 3,637 to round, okay? Now what happens is we have a top here. I'll refer to that later. But basically what we don't want to see, okay, we don't want to see price go below 3637. If price, let me show you what I'm talking about. If price breaks below the 20 EMA, typically what happens is there is a reversal up to challenge the EMA. Again, if you guys have been subscribed here, you know this. Anytime we're above a moving average, the moving average creates a ground floor of support. Anytime we break below, okay, the 20 moving average, it creates an area of resistance. Now we can't get above the resistance, right? So let me show you what we did. We're above price action this whole time, right? Now we broke below. Then we came up temporarily above the 21 EMA, and we have since broken below, okay? What we don't want to see, now that we've broken below, we don't want to take out these local lows. We don't want to take out the local lows at 36.37. If we take out the local lows at 36.37, what Alessio is saying, okay, and I respect his analysis very much. If we take out this low, there's a high probability that we could do this. Lower highs and lower lows. We need to stay above 36.37. And what he's saying in his video, and I think he has a typo. in his video. He said 43.05. Okay? He said 43.05. But the high here, he's saying he really wants to see price action. Let me show you this here. The high here is at 43.25. In his video, what he says is he wants to see price get above here. If it gets above here, you can feel bullish will continue up. If it breaks this level, we're going to break. We could potentially break down. This is something I am personally going to be watching. I would encourage you to watch this. Pull up the S&P index on the monthly, the 21 EMA, and watch this 36-37 level. If we start to break below with candle bodies on a monthly view, if we break below 36-37, that's a big red flag. If we get above, what is this level again? 43.25. If we get above 43.25, that's a big bull green flag, okay? Let's go back in time. Here's, as you can see, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in history for a few of these, and then I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to go back in history, and every single time on the monthly view, we've gotten a candle body close below the 21 EMA on the S&P. We're going to see what happened, okay? Beer virus, candle body closed below, we shot right back above. This was 2018. Candle body closed below, we got above. Then we had the crash here with beer virus. Okay, we got above though. Here's a close below. We got above temporarily. We then created another low, double bottomed, and went on a straight run. Nothing too alarming yet, right? Candle body closed below here, technically. Kind of wicked below, a little bit of a fake out, went above. Here, fake out, above. Here, this was the 2008 financial crisis. Here, yes. Here, we teetered with it, we broke below, and we just went straight down. Okay. This was the dot-com bubble in 2000. Broke below, kind of teetered with it, kind of wicked towards it, and then continued lower. Now we're going back many years. Now we're going back to the 80s, right? We're getting close to my birth date here. Nobody knows how old I am. I'm going to keep that close to the hip. Okay, we got a candle body close here. Never went below it. Moved up. Here, look at this. We did go below it. But it was about a 3% move down, and then we shot up. Here, never went below it. Shot up. Here, went below it. This was in the 70s, 1972, okay, and had a massive drop. Okay, so I went back around 50 years. I've looked at 50 years of price data and 3 times. So I would say my assessment let me just say this. I place a lot of value on his content, okay, and this is a chart I'm going to be watching, okay, and if we get a candle bodies that closes below 36.37, I'm going to feel less optimistic that my primary hypothesis is correct and we're going to see a blow off top in Bitcoin in next year. But what this chart is suggesting, okay, is that even in a current month, if we're getting price action that goes below this low here, once we've closed below the 21 EMA, we really need to see where the candle body closes, not the price wick, okay? That's the important thing because we saw a lot of fake outs. So I think what I would sum up is I think what Alessio is providing is very useful information, okay? But what we should pay attention to is not how the particular month is printing during the month. It might go below here. We need to see how it closes. Does it close above 36.37 or does it close below? If the monthly candlestick closes below, I'm going to feel less optimistic about my primary hypothesis. Now, we've seen a few fake outs. We've seen a few, 3, 4, 5% drops, which would be nothing. I mean, I wouldn't be concerned about that at all. But there are some significant corrections, one in the 70s, one in the 2000 dot-com bubble, and one in the 2008 financial crisis. So I think this is a chart you want to keep an eye on, the S&P. Dow Jones, look, the thing I've pointed out in the prior weekly close, we do not want to get the 50 closing. This is the weekly on the Dow Jones. We do not want to get the 50 crossing below the 10 SMA. Okay, the 50 SMA crossing below the 10 SMA. We need to get price. Okay, you can see we currently have higher lows being built here. Okay, we need to start pushing up. We need to get in this area and challenge all this resistance. There's a cluster fuck, guys. There is a clusterfuck of resistance in this area. We got the 50 SMA, the 10 SMA, and we have downwards resistance here. Okay, we have downwards resistance. There is a clusterfuck of resistance here. When I would start getting really bullish and feeling much more convicted, let's take out this high right here. This high on the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at, let's just call it 34,300. If we can manage to push above 34,300, okay, consolidate and start pushing up, gonna feel pretty fucking bullish. All right. But we do not want to see this 50 cross below the 10, because history would say when that has happened, okay, and this is where I'm providing unbiased content here. History, now this, we have already pushed up above it, okay? But look at this, back in 2008. Look at this, back in 2000 when the 50 crossed below the 10. And we also had a death cross where the 50 closed below the 200, all right? We have a while before the 50 would ever cross below the 200. But we need price to start pick up. We don't want to see these moving averages, these higher ones cross below the low. By the way, something I mentioned at the top of the happy hour that I'm going to start considering placing more emphasis in my videos, because I'm always looking to tweak my content. By the way, as I'm sharing these thoughts, make sure, Crypto Ryan, welcome in. Glad to see you here. I haven't seen John yet. John hasn't been here. John, you there? Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Have you hit the thumbs up button and subscribed to the channel yet? Drop a comment. But one of the things that Alessio's recent video that I just shared with you made me think about is making sure that I provide my content in a way that ensures that I don't have confirmation bias. So as you know, I'm very bullish in terms of how price is moving forward into 2023. I feel that a bull market and a fifth wave within an Elliott wave structure within Bitcoin and the crypto market is very much more likely than not likely going into 2023. But it doesn't mean that there aren't other charts and data science models that suggest otherwise. So something I'm going to keep in mind moving forward is making sure to try to present some of that information to you guys too, to basically say, hey, here's all the information I'm looking at, okay? And this is why I feel the way I do, even if it's bearish. Let's say it's 2035 and I'm bearish, okay? If I'm presenting to you bearish information and saying these are the charts I'm looking at to feel bearish, I at least still want to make sure that I am keeping myself level-headed, and even though behind the scenes I am, it's that I'm presenting that same information to you. So I feel like some of the content I've put out, it's not that I don't see some of the bearish charts. It's that if I've looked at the bearish charts and the bullish charts, and there's more bullish that outweighs bearish, I present to you bullish, okay? But perhaps what I should be doing is still presenting all that information to you in the bullish context, but putting it in a way that says, hey, but there's still this information that suggests that it could be bearish, and presenting that to you. So it's something that it made me think about, just to make sure I'm not communicating to you anything that suggests confirmation bias, which I do not feel I have, but I want to communicate. So this is the portion of the live stream that we get into the TA Q&A. So if anybody has any questions.
5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, there's only 5 minutes remaining at most. And then I'm going to get dinner started here. I'm going to have some, been doing a lot of salmon this week. Doing a lot of salmon. And I don't know what else I'm going to make. Brussels sprouts, probably. I haven't had Brussels sprouts in a couple nights. Oh, Steady, you said cup and handle on the weekly for the S&P. Are you serious? I didn't see that. What are you talking about? Brother, what are you talking about? Cup and handle? What time frame are you looking at? No, my friend, I don't see a cup and handle. I'm sorry. I don't know what time frame you're looking at. No. Steady, what time frame are you looking at? Because I don't see a cup and handle. There's no cup and handle on the S&P. So are there any crypto projects that you guys would like me to chart out for you? Hey, Brendan, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. No questions whatsoever. Okay. Well, alrighty then. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to get dinner started. So I wanted to appreciate everybody tuning in. Glad you could join. Have a great weekend. I'm going to try to get a TA video out either tomorrow or Friday, just time permitting. So there's a couple videos I have shared with you guys that I'm looking to point out on altcoins, the OG coins. What was the other? Oh, that's work stuff. It's not. Oh, the Holy Crypto Trinity update. So I'll try and I'll get one of those videos out like Thursday or Friday. All right. So last minute question from Jordan. Jordan, I appreciate you tuning in, and you are a firm supporter. So we'll take a quick look. Even if you weren't a firm supporter, I would still take a look. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have to take a leak, and I very much, and I need to start dinner. So this is the only question I'm taking, I think. All right, let's get off the price indicators. No moving averages. That'll help things out. Well, this looks okay. This is on Binance. Hey, no problem, Jordan. I'm glad to help you out. All seriousness. Putting joking aside, I'm glad to help out. This is ticker symbol ALGO. I see a major area of support right around there. Again, guys, what I want to stress to you, Jordan, what I want to stress to you, since you asked a question, I'll speak directly to you. Jordan, what I want to stress to you is there are zones of support, right? So I'm saying this is an area of support because look at all these price wicks and candle bodies right around this zone. Could I take this and maybe move it up to here? Yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's right around like, whatever, right around there. But there's all these price wicks and candle bodies. There's all that price confluence right around 25 cents. So I want to see, first off, I want to see 25 cents hold. This is a weekly view. I'm going to look on the higher time frames only, all right? We're not going to look at the lower time frames. Let's focus on the higher time frames. Few areas of descending resistance. We have this guy. This guy, which it looks like we've broken, so that's good to see. Here's the first thing I want to see happen. You see this low right here? This is basic commentary I make for any chart. You see this low at 27.5 cents. Where are we sitting at? 30 cents. I want to look. We're close to it. I mean, I want to see 27.5 cents hold as support. Okay. Not a lot of room between here and 30 cents. Be honest with you. Not one of the more bullish charts, honestly, I'm looking at, or that I've looked at. So it's relatively in line with a lot of the other projects. It's not as bullish as some of the other ones, but you know, we have this low at 27.5. I'm creating the same commentary. I'm actually happy if this sounds redundant to you because it should be. We created a high around 39 cents, and now we're sitting at, well, this is the low here, which was technically at 27.8 cents. So technically this is a higher low. So what we want to see is a break up to break 39 cents. That's really what I would say. And there's the next major area of resistance is really not until 68 cents. Now, that's not to say we couldn't face headwinds here, maybe right around here, candle body, maybe around like 49 cents. I'm not saying that. This isn't going to be a straight shot up to 68 cents, but there's not a lot of price confluence. Let me see here. Yeah, there's some right around there. Maybe Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, actually. Nah, I don't like that. No, I mean, we got to break 39 cents. That's really what we need to do. We still have higher highs and higher lows. It's not one of the more bullish charts that I've looked at. I'm not in this one. I know a lot about it. I know a lot of people I respect who support the project, but we still have a higher low by a marginal amount, and we need to break 39 cents, Ryan. Let's have a conversation. Sorry, not Ryan. Apologies, Jordan. Let's have a conversation when we break 39 cents, okay? So, Jordan, there are two things I want you to watch for. This low, okay, 27.5 cents. We do not want to break 27.5 cents. That's number one. Number two, the high here is at 39 cents. We need to break 39 cents. That's what I would watch for. Just keep it stupid simple, okay? All right, hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.